What's up? What's up? What is happening, everybody? Cuz, what's good?
Man, hey, I voted. Got that in. Got it in.
Nice. Good job. Good job.
I will say this. That's definitely a messed up process. I mean, it's just silly that we got to drive up to the post office and show them our ID and go through that whole rigmarole just to vote. There got to be a better way.
There's always a better way. Got to be a better way. Did you watch that? Did you watch that little YouTube video Reese shared in the accountability group?
No, I didn't. Huh?
It was with man. I didn't even know who the guy was. I had to Google him, but it was Van Jones, and he was just talking about if a presidential candidate refuses to concede after the election.
Right.
Yeah. So he's just kind of breaking it down and just talking about, so many loopholes into the process. Right. So it's just going back to, there's got to be a better way, right? There's got to be a better process. And just essentially, you don't have to concede. You don't have to concede.
Ain't going nowhere.
You can drag it out, man.
Yeah.
You can drag it out. There's so many loopholes. And one of the things that he said is tradition, right? Tradition is to concede. And that's usually where it all sides, right? At that point. But there's nothing in law that says you have to concede.
That's right. I like that. I like this rule.
He was breaking it down. And man,
they boarded up downtown Dallas?
No way. Did they really?
That's what I saw it on TikTok, so I can't. I mean, it's true, but it looked like that. It looked like it was downtown Dallas, and it looked like it was getting boarded up. So ahead of the election,
man. Did you listen to the Gad Sad episode on Rogan?
Yeah, I did actually.
I'm almost all the way through it, man. He said some awesome things in there. That dude, I want to go listen to a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, he's wicked smart.
Oh man, yeah. He what I loved in the beginning, and he said it's one of his chapters in his book is the honey badger mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
he sold a book. He sold a book right then when I heard that.
Yeah, I won't buy it because of it.
Fine, I'm in. What was it? What is it called? It was the something mind. The start with a P.
I just know it's at the 21-minute mark, so I'm gonna go back and listen to it again just to get
right.
I'll get the dang book. I'll go get his book.
Yeah,
he did sell a book. But what I loved there that he was talking about is and just kind of going back to what group are you in or what group are you associated with, and it was like I'm the tribe of truth, and I was like, man, I love that. That is so powerful, right? And I think he helped me clear up some things in my mind because I think that's kind of where we've always gravitated to, is right. What is the truth? And just all the work that we've all gone through over the years and with Clay and, his coaches and, digging with Marley Adams and Byron Katie and, Carol DeWick and, now the list goes on that we've put all the work in, but it's always getting to the truth. And that for me, how he articulated that was awesome.
Yep.
What's up, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. DC is all boarded up. Interesting times.
Very interesting times. No question.
I got a little neighborhood group, and they were they're a bunch of clowns. It's so funny listening to them. But they got some of the best memes. I've sent you a couple that they posted in there.
Yeah.
And they go, hey, should we be on toilet paper alert today?
Oh, that's greatness.
Oh, it's like, does one of us need to run and make a toilet paper run for the neighborhood? I was like, geez, yeah.
I made the front page of the neighborhood. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw the picture of missing chainsaw.
Yeah, the chainsaw apparently went missing. We really had to retrace our steps to figure out how the hell it got back over there because
where was it?
That's what I was curious about. It was in the yard where the people that were making bacon that were the open bar and bacon. That's whose yard it was in.
Did you go back over there? Oh, that's
I don't recall that, but
So you got to share this story. Like they win. They win.
They definitely won.
They won.
Yeah.
So you walk into this corner house in Newman Village, right? Like it's one of the best neighborhoods in all of Frisco. And you have walk up to the front and you got a sign that has an arrow pointing. And you walk into this courtyard of their house. And you've got, a pirate that greets you. And you got candy buckets. It was a COVID party.
Yeah, it was definitely a COVID party.
And there is this lady. I got a picture of this.
I should have took more pictures that night, that's for sure.
I have to show this. So this lady, and I don't know if you guys can see that. That's bacon.
Yeah.
She got bacon, and she got the torch. And I heard her say, and I might be a little bit off, but I think I heard her clearly. 91 pounds of bacon last year.
That's what they went through?
Yeah.
Holy moly, that's a lot of bacon.
And she goes, we're probably going to be about the same or not more this year.
That's a lot of bacon.
It's a lot of bacon.
Strange thing to find on Halloween with like your neighbors have an open bar and they're making bacon. The kids are coming through. They're getting candy. The adults are coming through getting hammered. I mean, it was just interesting. I thought the whole daggum street was interesting.
So it makes sense why the chainsaw ended back up over there.
Well, so like I got a concussion that night, so I don't remember everything. I threw myself out of the golf cart, literally. I mean, like out of the golf cart, and I'm not kidding, man. It hurt really bad, but I don't like. So there's just like parts of the night I just don't remember, and the last thing I remember with the chainsaw was my neighbor Tyler was in the back seat of the golf cart, as we were going down the neighborhood, and I have no idea what time. And so we must have gone over there. Maybe we went to see if the bar was open. I don't know, but yeah. So I saw that picture in the neighborhood group. Hey, somebody lost their chainsaw.
Somebody lost their chainsaw.
We found it in our front yard this morning.
You gotta get some context what the chainsaw was with, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was Leatherface, so that was an accessory to my costume. And so I took the chain off the chainsaw and ran a real chainsaw through the neighborhood. Kids loved it.
Yeah, so we split ways early on. We went one way, they went another, and all of a sudden we hear a kid screaming and we hear the chainsaw. So we're like, there they are. Oh my gosh. It was greatness. It was greatness.
It was good times. It was good times for sure. I think I might have to come back next year just to come to trick or treat in that neighborhood.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. They did it up right. The COVID house, the COVID house where they were shooting it down from the castle, the top of the castle, that was nuts, man.
They had the best decorations.
They didn't have any decorations all the way up till that morning when we were taking the kids to school. They had one little tent was out there. It was just like the white awning thing, nothing else. And then by that night, that was all done. I was like, dang, man,
they did a good job. It was really, really good. Man, I want to share. I had a huge distinction from one of our longtime clients, Honey Badger, with us at EXP, and I articulated it in a way finally that it landed with her, but it's a big deal for a lot of folks that are trying to grow their organization, right? Yeah. Trying to grow. And we all know, right? Recruiting solves all problems. Mm-hmm. And so it was a mindset shift for her. And I know she wouldn't mind me sharing this, is that talking about negotiating deals and her clients, and she's trying to get agents on board. And I just took her through the math exercise, right? I go back to Chuck Fazio's hashtag, it's just math. Mm-hmm. And I said, and she's in a low price point market, right? Like early 2000s, Lawton, Oklahoma price point market.
Whoa, that's rough.
And so that is rough. And so we did the math, and I was like, what does an agent pay you, right, per deal? Well, she says on the team, we're 50-50. She says, let's just do simple math, right? It ended up being, I said, okay, well, how many transactions on average does an agent do with you per year? We did all the math. It was about 45,000 per agent. And I said, well, how many clients are you going to handle this year, yourself personally? And we did the math, and it ended up being she was going to make 126,000 just off of her deals.
Right.
And I said, but that's with that many clients. I said, what if you had a fourth of those clients times 45,000? That's 675,000. And I said, where's your passion at? She goes, pouring into agents, teaching, seeing them thrive, changing their lives. I said, so who's your new client? She goes, shit, got it. My new client is an agent. My client is no longer a buyer or a seller. And that doesn't seem like much, but that's a huge distinction, right?
Yep.
When you look at it from that perspective. And so that really landed with her. And you know, it's sometimes, you know, however you gotta, you know, go in there. I mean, her mind was open. Obviously we were in a coaching session, so she was being, you know, vulnerable and open.
Right.
But it really is. I mean, when you take it from that perspective and you just do the math, and then you put that in your mind, that naming association, right? In your mind, you've been programmed that a buyer or a seller is a client. Well, let's put in that now a client is an agent, right? Somebody in your organization that you're able to pour into. And it's got to be the instant gratification, right? Because an agent's going to pay out over 12 months a little bit longer than that deal right now. That it's still not instant gratification, but they do usually pay a little bit sooner. I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yep. It is just always the math. Me and Al had a conversation last night. I've been having consistent, just great conversations with great people. Consistently, and we had one last night. It was really interesting, and I mean, he had done the math, and so I think he kind of got on the call because he kind of knows he's done the math and it doesn't make sense, but he was on an 80-20 split and then on 50-50 on company generated leads. But this dude sold like what did he say? It was 11 or 13 or something crazy like that houses in a month on this guy's team. And he's a rare breed, right? Like there's, you know,
wow.
I said, me and Al was laughing. I said, you're the guy that's the team leader. That dude is going to sleep tonight thinking, shit, when's he leaving? Because he's going to leave. But he paid him. He had done the math. He paid the guy over $200,000. It's amazing to me how many people don't do the math. Like, you know, that dude's working his tail off. And he's like, yeah, you're right, man. He's like, I made the same amount of money that I made when I was, and he had been on his own before. He'd been on his own, joined this guy's team and did twice as many deals and made half the money. And so like that, to me, you know, I would have caught on to that pretty quick. I think, you know what I'm saying? Like I would have caught on pretty quick that the math is not better here, you know? And, I think it was just a matter of, he was a hustler, and I think they definitely created an environment where there was only hustlers on this team. And that probably, you know, full steam ahead, you know what I'm saying? Pushing to do more. But it was interesting that, you know, $200,000 is a lot of money. There's still a lot of agents out there that don't do the math.
Why do you think, I've gone through with, you know, with a lot of clients over the years that hang on longer than what they should have. So like, what do you usually see? Why they do the math, but they still hang on? Is it a sense of security? Is it, you know, what is it?
It has to be. It has to be a sense of security. It's that. And, you know, I'm going to say that the obvious is leads, right? Like, you know, you got a lot of leads that are coming in that you're working, you know, and so you're busy, you know, and if you're doing the work, right? Like this guy does the work, to leave, you know, you got to go solve for all that. You got to do your own lead gen. You got to do all that kind of stuff. But it's got to be a sense of security. And just kind of doing what's easy instead of what's right. In terms of, you know, the math anyway. Yeah.
I think too, that's their whole support and that's their whole network. They don't have don't have that mentor. They don't have that group to fall with. They don't have that environment to fall into that can support them through that transition, or they don't believe they haven't found it yet. But I mean, obviously the guy's on the phone, so hopefully he sees that he possibly has now has that support around him to be able to make that move.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome. What's up, y'all? What's up, Brandon? Big good.
Big good.
Sorry.
Good. Right down.
Say I'd call out some names here, but just see Facebook user just here in StreamYard doesn't let us see all the names. So, hey guys, this is our every other week Power Hour. Jay and I get to hang out with you guys. Hopefully, share some shenanigans, but we're also here to help you guys solve any and all challenges that you guys might be wrestling with. I always told the team, if you don't have challenges, you ain't doing anything, because if you're doing something, you have challenges, right? Or you're overcoming things. So don't be afraid to throw it in. And I see some names up here. What's up, James? So I know you guys are doing stuff. So if you've got things that are on your mind, we'd love for you to take advantage of our time and let us help you.
Otherwise, we'll just continue to talk about the shenanigans that we get into.
We got some good ones.
Yeah.
Oh man. Let's see, man. God dang, Rogan, dude, like, and that dude really positioned it. Sad was talking about it, right? He was how Joe's platform and is becoming the platform, right? And his people that he has on there is just fascinating.
Did you listen to the Alex Jones one?
I have not listened to that one yet. You had mentioned Gad Sad. Remember, and I told you I was working and I had all the snidbits going.
Yeah.
And I caught like 3 of the Gad Sad snidbits, and I was like, I'm gonna go listen to that one. That was first.
A good one. It's definitely better. I mean, it's a rabbit hole. I'll just tell you that right now. That Alex Jones guy is something else. Something else.
Yeah, I'll definitely go through there. And I mean, he's cranking out content like crazy.
Indeed.
Show after show after show.
Yeah, I thought the best one was McConaughey. Kanye was too much for me. I couldn't.
I got about an hour in, and I had to put it down. The other, McConaughey. I'll go back and listen to that one, man. He's phenomenal. He is phenomenal. So we got a question in here, and just jumped on with EXP. Best way to use the buzz to recruit. You want to? Yeah.
So depending on where you're at, and you might post that just so we can see. In the States, when we joined, I think there was definitely a buzz, but most people didn't know what it was. And so a lot more people were actually open to actually looking at it. And then that's kind of what it feels like right now. But for everywhere else, the pushback that you'll often get is going to be that people think they know what it is, and they don't. They just don't. But they think they do. And so you don't get very far, and it can be a little bit frustrating, getting them to take a look at the business model. And so the biggest mistake I think you don't want to do is it's like Fight Club. You don't, the first rule about Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club. It's the minute you start trying to talk about EXP, you done lost. So it's unfortunate because that's what the model is. We want to talk about the model because that's what is exciting about EXP. So you have to kind of take a different approach and if you want to get through to people. And I think, the goal is to get them to open up the gate of the mind. A lot of people are very closed-minded. And so because they think they know what it is, because they don't think it could be significantly different. And they think of it as plus or minus 10% of whatever every other brokerage is. And so that's a difficult thing to get past. And all of us on here today that are, at least the ones of us that are at EXP, we've all consumed, most of us probably, I would guess I would like to see some numbers of how many hours of content you think you consumed before you came to EXP about EXP. I know I probably consumed at least 4 hours of content, maybe more. And And so, that's what happens. Nobody joins EXP without consuming at least, an EXP explained presentation that I know of. I don't know of anybody that's ever joined that hasn't, right? So I think some people have lost kind of the angle on getting someone to consume that and aren't trying to get people to consume it because they think they know what it is, because as soon as they bring it up, they tell you that they do. But the angle that we've taken, and I think the approach that's working best is, today at 1:00 Central, you can see it. It'll be at One Big Fire Live, ONE, onebigfirelive.com. And it's a presentation on how to double your business, add a new revenue stream to your business, and create an exit strategy by partnering with us without ever having to pay for coaching, training, or technology ever again. Guess what? It's actually an EXP presentation too, but it's more about how we can help them double their business and the strategy that we use to help many, many others do the same. So that angle, it's easier to invite someone to that. And so the key to EXP is invite, right? So the process is, so this is, I'm glad that this question got brought up too, John, because I had Thursday and Friday, I had 4 on Thursday and 5 of my calls on Friday that were almost this exact same kind of question. And what I realized was that we really we've done a piss poor job of having a few things that we say and repeating ourselves a lot. And so people kind of get lost in what to do. And, you can grind it out by trying to talk about EXP, but I'm just telling you, it's going to be hard. It's going to be real hard. You'll find people that are open to listen, but you'll feel your way around in the dark and accidentally bring a few people over. But you really it's got to be about them. And when you start talking about EXP, you're making it about you, what you want them to do. You want them to come partner with, come join us at EXP. It's got to be about them. What are they trying to do? What is their goal? What are they trying to accomplish? Hey, man, I've got a mentor that's, he used to sell 500 homes a year. He does a free training on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1:00 Central. If I sent you a link, would you be willing to jump on and take a listen? Now I'm going to crack them open and get them to open the gate of the mind. That's the whole presentation is getting the frame. I'm framing it up to understand, hey, there might be a better way. If you're just open-minded, you might just see it. And by the time we get into the EXP content, I got their mind right. And so that's little psychology tricks that we play to get people to actually open up the gate of the mind and listen to an opportunity that might be able to help them grow their business. I happen to know for a fact, if you sell real estate and you want to do more than you're doing today, and then you should be partnered with us at EXP. I happen to know that's for a fact. The math is going to always work out to your favor if you want to grow, if you want to do more than what you're doing today. That's a fact, Jack. You know what I'm saying? So there's no arguing that. But they gotta be willing to see it. And so, that's what it's really about. It's inviting them to the Double Your Business presentation, not to the EXP Explained presentation. That's the big difference. And so, find people that are like us that all want to grow and want to do more, and invite them to that, and you're gonna have better results. So that's my 2 cents on that. No, and not to say that you shouldn't, because it is an educate and inform process, right? So I did a Facebook Live with Marty Hampton yesterday. Used to be the #1 Remax agent in the world forever, right? And she's, she joined us, came in under Tina Call, Rockstar, and we did a Facebook Live to her audience of people that that follow her for years, that she's been in her marketplace in North Carolina. And so when we the whole process of was just educate and inform. She was asking me questions, I was telling her the answers, and it was educating and informing people about EXP that didn't know that they were getting a pitch on EXP necessarily, but that was just the there's going to be a lot of people that watch that didn't understand EXP that do now. And so that's if you're going to do content, you should do content around EXP. That's what I would do. But if you want them to hear the pitch, the metric that you measure is how many people, did you invite, and then how many people did you get to show up to, and, to the live presentation. That number is going to determine how many people you recruit over. And so it's really simple. So this is what I call this is how to recruit 1,000 agents to EXP without ever having to give the presentation, without ever having to talk to somebody that doesn't want to talk to you first, and without ever having to answer their questions. You invite them to a Double Your Business presentation, onebigfirelive.com. You you only follow up with the ones that actually got on there, and then you put them on a 3-way call with somebody that's in your upline. That's the process. If you do that, you will heavily recruit. And so It's not hard. It's not hard at all if you just follow that process. But what what rings in my head every day. So like when I'm doing 20 freaking calls in a row and they're all the same thing, I'm like, I'm saying the same thing to all these people. What have I done wrong? Like we didn't create. It makes me think of you were really good at this before, John, too. Still are, but it's like have a few rules, repeat yourself a lot, right? Like That's the process. That's the process. I'm gonna tell you again. If you're talking about EXP, you're doing it wrong.
Yep.
It's hard to hear. A lot of people just goes right over their head. Like, listen, if you're talking about EXP, you're doing it wrong. And if you truly want to recruit more people to EXP, you got to change your approach. And the approach needs to be about, hey, are you making as much money as you want to make in real estate? I don't even want to talk to people that say no to that or that say yes to that. It's like, oh yeah, I'm making plenty of money. Okay, great, awesome. But if they say no, they say, hey man, I got this guy that does this presentation. He's one of my coaches. He used to sell 500 homes a year. He's got a double your business presentation he's doing today at 1:00 Central. If I sent you a link, would you want to jump on? I think a lot of people are going to jump on. That's the process.
Yeah, and I mean I love that, and it's the whole principle there, right, is getting them talking about themselves, right? That's how you get them to open up the gate of their mind is getting them to talk about themselves. I mean, your language has to be your go-to has to be getting them talking about them, right?
Mm-hmm.
How's real estate, man? You crushing it this year? You can accomplish your goals. Are you making all the money you want to make? Right? What do you think the big challenge is? Hey, I've got a guy, right? So you can just transition right in. That just has to be your thinking, right? Of how can, it's just real simple, right? Tell me about yourself. How's business? Are you making all the money you want to make in real estate?
Mm-hmm. Keep it simple.
And then keep it simple and don't try to sell anybody, right? Move on. Yeah. Move on. There's what's Frank Kern's favorite word? Next. So keep rolling. Talk about, there's a couple questions here, but what are some ways to bubble up opportunities? I think that's kind of what they're saying. How do you generate opportunities to talk to enough people, right? So what are some of the ways? I know you had mentioned like content, like what Marty had done. Marty's got a huge audience already, big following, but like, what would you say? Hey, here's some things that you need to be focused on daily to generate opportunities.
Yeah. So this is, this is the part that most people skip the step before this, which is you better have made your list. What did you make did you get clear on all the people that you know in real estate? And did you make that list? I got my will chart around here somewhere. But we all did that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, if you want to, if you're emulating success, then, you must have a wealth chart already filled out with all of that. So I'm going to assume that you didn't skip that step. A lot of people have been skipping that step. So either you went through the trouble of making the list of all the people that you know and all the people that you think would be a good fit, because that should also be on that list. And, you start there. Outside of that, you're always adding to the list, right? Like you're always adding to the list. Every real estate agent, you show a property, add them to the list. They show your property, add them to the list. Like you bump into them at a mixer or whatever, you add them to the list. You're always adding to that list. It shouldn't be something new you're doing that's not to do with your list. Your wealth chart is your list. It's your always ongoing list. Mine is now in for the first time in 3 years. Okay, now in first time in 3 years, it's all in technology. Okay, so for the first time in 3 years, I had the wealth chart and I had my Excel spreadsheet, and that's how I did it. That's how I've been doing it, and it worked fine for me. And so for most of you, you don't have more names probably than I had. I'm guessing. You can work it off of your wealth chart and maybe put it in a spreadsheet if you were really tech savvy like me and you wanted to use a spreadsheet. I do have it in the technology now, but I didn't for all that time. And so make the list, and you should be always adding to it every opportunity. And then, for me, I would start, I would just make a list of people that the math is going to work for sure. Right. I would start with the companies I know that the math is going to work for sure. And I would look for the people that are producing. And those are the people. It's almost a certainty. If the math is going to be, if they're like a capper, I would say a capper or at least a capper or at least icon, somewhere in that range. Those people mathematically, I mean, it's financially irresponsible for them not to join EXP. And so those are the people that I like to talk to. But I'm really just looking for people that want to grow. And so that's really the bottom line.
Man, I think that's a good reminder for everybody, right? It's not for everybody, and it might not be for you, right? That's just this might not be for you, but it really is. You're looking for that. We talk about humble, hungry, and smart. That hungry part, they want to grow. And I like to kind of slide in their emotional IQ for smart, right? And so, and really that's who you're looking for, those type of people, because it's the people that you want to spend time with, that you want to help, that you want to ensure that they're going to succeed. You're going to do what you need to do. You're going to take that message. You're going to take that phone call when they have a question, they need some help. So you want to make sure that there is a good alignment there and not just trying to stack people in. One of the so just this last comment here, the challenge I've had recently is agents get intrigued by the partnership, double your business, but they'll immediately ask if it involves joining another brokerage. I say, well, I'm with EXP. They'll immediately shut me down and say I'm not interested.
Right. Yeah. So first of all, I'm gonna give some tough love here. Okay. So first of all, I don't think that's happening more than I don't think that's happened more than one time to you. So it's not. It just doesn't sound like something that would happen over and over and over and over again. And so, like, let's be truthful with yourself and say, is that happening all the time? Is that happened more than once? Has it happened more than twice? Did you talk to 10 people, or have you only talked to 3? Like, what's the truth, right? Let's get to that first. And so if it is happening, then you got to get them more excited. You got to get them more excited. You got to be like, listen to me. Okay, listen. I'm telling you, this is going to be the best 45 minutes you spend in your life this year. You won't believe it. It's going to blow your mind. I'm literally going to blow your mind. If I was to send you the link, will you promise me you'll watch it? Get people excited, guys. Like, enthusiasm sells. If you can't get someone to watch a webinar about how to double their business, add a passive income stream, and create an exit strategy by partnering with top agents in the country, you never have to pay them anything. You never have to pay them anything. I don't know. I mean, maybe or it's the wrong person. Next. You know what I'm saying? Next. It's okay. Next. Don't fall. It's the whole mindset of go for no, right? Like, it's hey, listen, that's just one. Listen, if you talk to 10 people, you're gonna get a yes. You'll get a yes. You'll get somebody to show up. That's just one no on the way to your yes. Just next. Talk to somebody else. And so I mean, I don't get them excited,
or they're not aware of their pain point enough yet either, too, right? So you can get them excited about it, but you can also, pour some salt on the wound of their pain point, or make them aware of what their biggest constraint or their biggest challenge is as well, right? So there's a couple different ways to hit it, and we know people are usually driven more by pain than by gain. So they may be a person that's driven by pain, and put them on your nurture. Just keep nurturing on them. It's just a matter of when, right? And it's just a matter of when,
right?
Just a matter of time.
Yep.
Right.
And I see there, that 3 times last week, and you named the people. That's if that's the case, then the next 7 should be pretty good for you. That would be my guess. The next 7 are probably going to all be fine with it. And it might be, and I don't know exactly what the approach, like if you're just calling random people that you don't know and having that trying to enter into that conversation, and they probably smell EXP breath, a little bit. So that could be part of the issue. But yeah, man, it's not that hard if they want to grow their business, and if you take the time to get to know what their goals are and how their business is doing, there's no question in my mind that we could help them. And I would, if they say no, I'd be like, would you consider yourself open-minded? Well, just do this. Listen, why don't you just do this? Just listen. And if you tell me it was a complete waste of your time, I'll buy your lunch for the rest of the week. Okay. Like, if you tell me that this was a waste of your time and you didn't learn anything, then I'll buy your lunch for the rest of the week. Deal? You just say whatever you got to say. Just got to get them on there. Yeah. And if they're open-minded, I've had people that get on literally. I mean, and this is where I might need some people to back us up here a little bit. But the people that are getting people on this webinar are recruiting agents to EXP from it. That's what's happening. Yeah. So I'm getting that feedback. So I know that it's working. And so, like, please, just you have to get them to that's your leverage piece. You don't have to know the presentation. You don't have to answer any questions. You don't have to talk to anybody that doesn't want to talk to you first. Find people that want to grow, get them on that webinar, and you're going to recruit agents to EXP far and above anything else that you could be doing. That's how we all got here, by the way. So, like, we all got here the same way. Somebody showed us a presentation. That's how we all got here, every single person. So got to keep at it. Keep at it.
I think
it's worth it. I can tell you this. It's freaking worth it. It is absolutely worth it.
I tell you, one thing, cause that I think might be an issue for some folks, and they're not aware of it, right? I've caught, shit, I'm guilty of this. We all are, is that we get excited and talk about what excites us about EXP. This is why you got to know what their effing problem is, because you got to then talk about what EXP and you offer, and aligning and partnering with you, how that solves their problem. Yep. Right. So sometimes you're not speaking their language, right? What's in it for me? That's the only station that they're tuned into. Yep. And if you're talking about what excites you about EXP, they don't listen to you. And that's when they're, like you said, they smell it. Yep. And so you got to be able to know what there is going on in their head, right? That's all marketing is. Join the conversation in their head. And how can you join that conversation? And you just got to find out what their problem is. And then you can talk specifically to that, right? When we first came over, the GOAT shared the story, sitting there. His lovely wife was sitting in the room there, and they talked about what that agent's problem was. Got up, was going to sign, was going to join, left. His wife said, well, you didn't even talk about all the other stuff. And he was like, because they weren't ready to hear that other stuff. 6 months later, they talked about rev share. 6 months later. So you got to know what their problem is, and then you can just get excited about helping them solve that one problem. And then they'll come around to the other opportunities, right? I mean, how many people talk about the stock, and it was never the stock, right? And so, yeah, you got to find out what their problem is and help them solve that.
And that's, So, and that's such good content. That's great. The thing is, they don't know what rev share is. They don't recruit currently. That's not in their business model. So it's not relevant to them. The stock and the rev share is great once they understand that it can help them with what they know their problem is about how to grow their business. That's great. But they're never going to get interested right out of the gate because they don't even know what it is. They don't even know what the opportunity is. Yeah,
man. Yeah. I want to comment here on James's, but I want to say something first. I was just thinking about, you and I've said this from jump, man, this is a relationship game. And, a relationship is just a place you go to give. And so I started thinking about like for you in the content and people that have joined, you don't necessarily have a relationship with them, but they have a relationship with you and your content. Because how many people have consumed so much of your YouTube content? They've watched from afar. They've just consumed, right? They have a relationship with you and your message and your content. So it is a relationship game. So like, putting that content out there, like, I mean, shit, I shit you not. We were driving to Tyler, Texas in the McLaren, and we take a phone call from an agent you've never met.
Never. Yep.
But she knew you.
Yep.
She knew you. She's consumed so much of your stuff off of YouTube. She had a relationship, right? So you guys have to understand that, right? So it has to be a relationship game. If you don't have this one-on-one, you're creating content that is just coming from a place of contribution, a place to give, right? Remember, relationship is a place you go to give. And so when you're creating your content and you're building that relationship, you're giving, right? You're pouring. It's coming from a place of contribution. So don't forget that, guys, when you're really putting that stuff out. So James was talking about, I'm not one of those people that think everything is for everyone, but I know this has worked tremendously for me. If I was to send you an invite for the webinar, is that something you would like to attend? Cool. That's how he closes for the appointment.
Love it.
Great nugget.
Love it.
Great nugget, man. Thank you for sharing. Those boys, like if you guys want to model, right? So the 3 M's, right? You have a mentor, you have something you're modeling, and then you're a part of a mastermind. You want to model success. You don't want to model if you're like, oh, okay, I see you guys, whatever, you had this. If you want to model success, you pay attention to the ATL crew. You pay attention to Dan Hillsman. You pay attention to James and Ron and Levi and Morris and Andre and that ATL connection, that crew. Like you should be picking their brains if you are serious about how to go the right way about building relationships, adding value, and growing your organization.
They're killing it. Growing at 10% a month. That's a big number.
That is a big number.
And I would argue that they probably are the fastest growing group, and there's several of them in the 200 and 300 range of agents. in that group, and they're all doing. I mean, and none of them had a big YouTube presence or any. There's no secret weapon. They're following the process and they're executing consistently with people, creating relationships, bringing them over to EXP.
That's it, man. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's building the relationship either with you personally or your content. You're having conversations. You're finding out their problem. You're getting them excited about you have a solution for their problem. And you're getting them on the One Big Fire Live, and then you're the correct questioning. Tell me what you liked.
Yeah. Tell me what you like. What you liked about what you saw.
And then on a three-way call.
Right.
Leverage the upline. I had a great call with one of our coaching clients yesterday, and she shared with what Brent Gove had on his leadership call yesterday about and it's really for your heavier producers, right, that are really committed to agent attraction, to growing, was have that lineage text, right? Have that lineage text to where know who your 7 levels are, right? Know who you, all the way up, and create that communication group. So if you need something, you can one spot and it dings and whoever's available can jump in and help. I thought that was a gangster. That was gangster. So Kelly's asking, Jay, tell us how we can leverage EXPCon 2020, given that the event is virtual this year.
Yeah. So here's how I would see. I mean, there's two ways to look at it. I think there's, one is, and look at some of the sessions that are there, and you use the headlines for, somebody already wrote a headline for whatever they're speaking on, and it should be a decent headline. So there's some angles that you could use, asking if people would be interested in attending, but I think this is follow up for the people that you've already spoke to, people that are in your working pipeline or whatever. And so there's that, and then there's an introducing new people to the opportunity. And so, I think, getting people free guest passes is definitely going to have some potential to do some good in terms of introducing new people to adding value, building a relationship, and follow up with them afterwards, what they got to attend, what they liked, what questions they have, and then leverage again, the three-way call for sure. Not enough people are leveraging the three-way call. That's for sure. That's definitely for sure.
I'll just spot check your calendar every now and then just to see who's on there the most. And I mean, the ATL crew's on there the most. And that's why they have a system and they're following to it. They're committed to it. They're following it. And
I had a call with Mike the other day, and I'd plowed through several calls in a day, and I was like, man, that was a good day of great conversations with great people, right? I was like, and Mike was like, man, dude, I had the same thing. He's like, I said, do you feel like there's in most of the calls, it's the difference. Like if they're either not coming, they're fence sitting, and then we get them off the fence. And that's like, you got people that are on the fence, then you got to get them on three-way calls. You got to continue to re-engage them with the next engagement. Don't let them off the hook. If you get to the end of that call, this was one of my biggest gets the whole first year, was at the end of the call, if they don't say what's the next step, then you determine the next step. Because it sounds to me like the next step is we need to jump on a call with such and such or so and so. And so at the beginning of that conversation, what did you like about what you saw? You get to see what inside their mind, what they liked about what they saw. So whatever that is, that's a part of the conversation in the three-way that call that's how I determine what I'm talking to them about. Yeah. And getting to know what they were interested in. And so at the end of the call, if they haven't said what are the next steps, the question is, well, so let me ask you this question. How much would you need to have in passive income, let's say a year from now? Imagine we're a year down the road and you joined EXP. Well, how much would you have to have in passive income for you to say this was the best decision for your business? They'll tell you a number. It's almost always $5,000 for some reason. And then sounds to me like we need to jump on another call and let's just do the math and let me show you the plan for how we're going to get you to $5,000 a month. Right.
The plan.
And so that's, don't let them go into the black hole of no follow-up. That's what happens, a lot.
You had two good points. You had two good points right there. Never let anything go without scheduling something next. So always keep that in your mind. But talk about the science behind clarity in a plan. From was that James Smart that shared that study? It's in one of your presentations. You talk about the science behind getting people. I think it was like a fitness.
It was a study. It was in Atomic Habits. Great.
Atomic Habits.
I probably should go through that one again. It was clarity in the plan. They did a study. It was some kind of British study they did with people that were basically going to do an exercise. They were going to exercise. They wanted to see who was going to actually exercise the most. So they had a group come in. They said, tell us how much you're going to exercise. And then they had the next group come in. They had them watch a motivational video that went over all the benefits of working out and everything. Then the third group that came in, and then they just asked them, tell us when you're going to work out next week. And then the third group, they came in and they watched the same motivational video, but they asked them specifically when and where, what times you were going to work out. And that group of people, actually, when they came back and surveyed them all, the group that they didn't have the motivational video actually had more people that actually worked out during that week than the ones that watched the video without a plan, right? Without the clarity of having a plan of when you're going to do something. And then the third group was 100%. I think it was three times as much, 3 times as many people in that group worked out because they had thought through the when and where they were going to actually work out. And so that's the importance of clarity of plan. You can say you're going to do something all day long, but if you don't get down to let me create the plan for how I'm going to do it, then you don't have the commitment's not really there. It's not strong anyway. So yeah, that's a really good book. I love the book. Yeah,
man. Clarity in a plan, right? So you're helping them get clear, and now you're going to help them get a plan to make, what we're going to do to get there. So that's the I think that's the final nugget, right? I think we walked through the whole process for everybody today, but I think that's the one that gets them, because they need that reassurance.
It could very well be the clarity and the plan on how, what you're going to connect them to so they can grow their real estate business. It could be the same. Some people, I go through the revenue share one because most people, when you ask that question, they do say revenue share, but not all of them. Some people are just gung-ho about growing their business. That's great. It sounds to me like we just need to get clarity. How many homes do you need to sell next year in order for you to say that you were successful? Right. And so, okay, well, yeah, 40. Okay. Well, it sounds to me like we just need to break down and, create a plan. Go to freeclarityreport.com. There's one the clarity report is what we use. This is what we use for every coaching client. And so send them to that. Say, hey, sounds like we should do that. Let's get together. When you want to jump on a call and go through it and help them get clear on the plan.
And I think the other thing and that we have, and I think Kelly, this will work for you guys as well, is our NAEA boot camp that we've got coming up. I hope this is our last virtual one that we're going to have to do, and we can get back face to face in 21 and beyond. But if you guys want to take leverage of it, I've had folks that have already bought tickets for this one that are going to leverage it for agent attraction. They've bought tickets for people to attend. And, they're actually even, setting up a watch party within their office to where they're going to invite agents in to watch. But it's really, our 3-day kind of our signature event that we've been doing. When we did boot camp, first year we did mastermind as well, right? 2012?
Yep.
2012. So we've been to 2 or 3 times. That's awesome, Kelly. So, we've been doing 2 or 3 of these every year since 2012. We obviously had to pivot like everybody else and go virtual this year. So we did one back virtual in April, and then it's kind of been our week. The first week of December has always been NAEA boot camp week. And we're back in the same studio that we did Agent to CEO. So I'm really, really excited for that. We're going to have, it's just going to be a better feed. It's going to be a better stream. It's going to be a better experience. It's going to be a better outcome for even the recordings and the videos afterwards. 3 days. It's crazy. We hit mindset differentiation the first day, which I absolutely love. And then day 2 is all CHSA. Day 3 is all CHBA. And so CHSA, Certified Home Selling Advisor, which is the listing process. And day 3 is CHBA, which is the certified home buying, which is the buying process. Now, guys, this is duplicatable, right? That's how we created it. We talked agent attraction for most of this call. We're giving you a process that's duplicatable. this process is duplicatable. This is how we got Jay Kinder out of selling homes, is
Yes,
through
sir.
this process. And it's tried and true, man. It's since 2012, it's been selling tens of thousands of homes across the country. We know for a fact it works in every market. It sells homes in Silicon Valley with one of our great friends, longtime clients and friend, and it sells home obviously in Lawton, Oklahoma. So it works in any market, and it's system and process based. And we'd love for you guys to attend. And since you guys have been hanging with us throughout the call, there's the discount code, Expert Advisor, so you guys can get that. I think regular sticker price is $297. Expert Advisor will drop it down to $197. So take advantage of it. We'd love to see you guys there with us. Cuz, man, damn, that was a good call.
It's a great call, man. Thank you all for the questions, man. I love it when people come with some questions and challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I'm gonna finish up a couple of those episodes, man. I just been thinking about it all morning. I was on the bike and I was listening to it, and he said, "I'm with the Truth Tribe."
The Truth Tribe. I love it.
I do too, man. Love it. Cuz, any parting words?
Man, no, man. Go vote, y'all. Get on it, man. Don't think. I don't care who you vote for, as long as it's Trump. I mean, I'm just kidding. No, go vote, man. You know, it does matter. It definitely does matter. So don't be sitting back and complaining. You know, if you don't like, of course, I don't think anybody that's watching this is going to complain about anything. But we just go back to work and do what we do.
That's right.
But yeah, get it done. Don't assume that it doesn't matter.
I got my David Goggins gear came in yesterday.
Nice. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you.
All right, guys. Take care.